Thursday, April 20th. It's been 4 weeks now since I got these and planted them, give or take a day or so. Here is the Kentucky coffee trees. And do your own research. There's good and bad with pretty much every plant there is. So I think these are also nitrogen fixers. I'm going to go with that, but it's not a big deal out here because this wasn't previously farmland. It's woodlands, so I feel like I may not need that as much. But it's kind of interesting, pretty looking. Nice and wispy. Look at the green that's come up on them in just 4 weeks. Witch hazel. Got people that want some. I don't know how many I want. I've got the 2 big ones already from last year, and I want to keep at least 4 of these, and the rest can be sold or gifted. These are the wild plums. Definitely going to go out in the woods. I may hold a couple back for the orchard just to have wild plums domesticated, I guess. The gojis, those 2 I bought 3 weeks ago, and these were last week's. They're still not, they could be dead, I don't know. I'll keep watering because it's hard to tell. Like this one is only signs that it's showing in the 4 weeks is these little buds that's starting to develop. These are the persimmons, wild persimmons, and I hope to graft. Another thing I need to learn, I've not done before, but they will. I'm gonna keep some as they are because I like the wild persimmons. They're a little different. I like getting the seeds, and they're pretty plants. I think they're pretty. And that one I think is developing only some budding down at the bottom, so I don't know, but the rest of them are definitely showing some green, and like that, the budding there. Still not gotten these out and into their own containers, and I want to go ahead and get some planted out in the woods down in the low part in the swampy area of our property. The pawpaws, I've never had one. It'd be interesting. It's good to have a variety of things. After doing I think it was just 4 days of the same food, by the 3rd day it was awful. So variety is important. So doing the research on how tall a lot of these, like this is serviceberry. I just watered them. I'll come back and make sure that they're draining still, because I only got 1 holes in most of these. Because the problem here is more of things drying out than staying too wet. But you still don't want it to keep it, you know, don't want it to be too moist all the time, because that'll cause damage with the roots. But doing the research to see how high things are, how the maximum growth, and trying to get the shorter things to the south and the taller things to the northern part, so that they're not shading out the shorter things. But I definitely want to put the serviceberries here close to the house. Here's the pecans, and they're starting to bud. And those 2 back there are leafing. Again, you know, I don't know, some of these could be just dead twigs in the dirt now, but I'm going to keep watering until there's no doubt that they're dead. Here's the black walnuts. And I moved some out this way, trying to work on the drainage. That one's still not draining right. I think I'm going to have to put another hole in that one. But here they are. They seem to be doing okay. The red mulberry. Getting a lot of spiders are hatching now. This is pretty. And the elderberries. Ooh, that one's not draining. But I just come through and watered everything this morning. That could be another twig. I'm not seeing anything, and the bark is falling off, so that may be lost cause there. Here's the hazelnuts. And these are probably the shortest of the trees I've got. So I'm looking forward to that. As for my chestnuts, I've had one of the 4 I planted out in the woods. Only one for sure survived. One's kind of iffy and the other 2 are, I'm pretty sure they're dead. So I was thinking about taking one of these better ones out there and planting them. And I have to keep an eye on it to make sure that the deer aren't messing with it. But these are pretty big. The cages I made were only 2 feet tall. So only the small ones would work. But I want to go ahead and get something that I know is good sized. And I've got them, so might as well. Oh, just letting those ripen a little bit more. Strawberries are coming in. And I planted 6 figs. One near the house is doing okay. And one out there, so I've lost 4. They're just gone. There's nothing left. No twig. Something must have come and gotten it because there's not even a dead limb sticking up. But I want to go ahead and plant some of those around the garage and the house. Let me put another one next to the house near the other one. So here's one that's definitely doing well. But as you can see, this is not a good location. I need to put something around it so I don't damage it with getting the hose in and out. The beige color hose is what I'm using. This one's need to be fixed before I can use it again. I was thinking about putting another fig down here on this end. We have a lot of these all over the place. About the same size. They've hatched out. We've got one that's got a funky head on it, so maybe a different breed. I don't know. And they've definitely been doing their little mating calls to each other. This is the next level down from our home, and where I've got the garden and all those buckets of trees. And we've discussed this, and my husband offered to clear all this out so I can expand the orchard. This is where I originally started to do the garden last year, and it just did not work out. So that needs to come down. We got sweet gums all over the place. There are weeds here. And I want to plant some trees, and the kiwis and elderberries in particular down on this level, right here in front of this. So this means I got to clean all this up, get some gloves on. It's also snake season. This is when the snakes are really active. I don't even want to think about what all's on there. We cleared that, move into our home. But my husband will get that with the tractor, and probably do a good burning over here. Still got some buckets down here. So I've got to move all this, clean up the broken glass. Still have plans of making a greenhouse and using them in the greenhouse on the walls and for ventilation. So this right here, I want to see these trees go, but not this year. My husband wants to wait until they get until I have other trees that's going to shade the house, because it gets hot. The heat is what we have to worry about. Getting the air conditioner not to work so hard. I think it'd be a good idea for me to plant some trees or something that's going to shade the shipping containers. We are going to do something, whether they're going to be some sort of workshop and or storage, probably both. The back part's going to be storage, and the front part's going to be something that we could do projects in and not take up room in the house. But this is where the chicken coop was originally, until my husband had to do all that changing over there. So need to move those bricks. I think the cats and the possum, at least one possum, is making a home under there. They have some sort of truce, so that's okay. And the cattle panels are there that I had used as a roof, part of the roof cover over here to keep the hawks from getting to the chickens and other things from crawling in. And I want to use them along with some T-posts and put them vertically, so they're 4 foot wide by 16 feet tall. So they will go 2 T-posts and have them a foot or two, probably 2 feet above the ground level, and we'll plant the kiwi and have the kiwi go up, and then kind of have the cattle panel lean over toward the house. And my husband was talking about making a frame and all, you know, it's like, okay, whatever he wants to do, but that can sit there until he's ready to do his part. So we still got all this to clear out. And the previous owner did some really interesting things. I don't know what this is. He marked stuff. We've dug and gone down. I think this one actually is connected to something. So we got to figure that out. We need to run water up to the chicken coops and to the orchard area. That will make things easier. I think that's a wild cherry right there. I'm glad I didn't order any of those, because we definitely have that here, but we didn't have any of the wild persimmons. I'm looking at this going, I should know what that is. Keep an eye on it and see what, if there's things have volunteered, I'll keep them in place. Another hickory. And notice them in the woods. They're getting those, that's a gall. Those red things are some sort of galls. There's some sort of critter living in there. Multiple critters. Blackberries all over the place. So losing that's not going to hurt. And it doesn't take long. This is maybe 2 years old. This sweet gum. We had this all cleared. I mean, I had this all cut down and cleaned up a couple years ago. Need to do that again. Stuff for the wood pile. My husband has been doing his workouts by just chopping wood instead of working out. But we've also been trying to learn about mushrooms. And without a doubt, these are all false turkey tails. But some I'm wondering. I'm really wondering if there might be some real turkey tails in there. But it's hard to, I don't know for sure. But this is where he's been getting the firewood from for our house. So this whole section here is going to get cleared for the orchard. This was a tree that was a V, had another part that came down, and it came down that first winter when we bought this place. So with all that cleared up, I have more room for trees. They can be in the bucket for a year. I don't, a year, 2 years even. Those chestnuts are in there. I did them a year ago, so this is going into their second year. I may have to transplant some into bigger buckets if I'm not going to put them into the ground. But that's okay. You've seen those big old containers with trees, and they go for way too much. This is another level down, so 2 levels down from the house. I like to get all this cleared up. And this was where we're going to put our goats, but we've decided, sadly, to sell our dairy goats, because there's different reasons, but the main one is taking care of animals is hard. Chickens, it's bad enough losing a chicken. I did not realize I would get so attached to the goats. So selling them is not an easy thing. Trying to find good homes. They are dairy goats, even though we did eat some of the bucks and one of the nannies as for food. But it just takes a lot, and the cost of fencing, and then the time. There's a lot more with that. So we decided to go ahead and sell. If we can find a good home, they're going to go to it. We've not milked them in over a year. And this is a bump out from the garage. And I hope to plant more trees, the backs of the shipping container. Still not been able to convert this over to a summer kitchen or a greenhouse or anything. And now, maybe I can do that. So this whole area, the septic tank is over there. So we don't want to build anything there. We're not going to put orchards there. That's where the goats were originally going to go. And we were going to use the bus, you can see the top of that, as a storage and milking barn. But now that's all changed. This is near the house. And we did originally have our chickens set up here, and it didn't take long in the 6x12 dog run, and it started smelling. And previous owner had run water to the camper through here and put this connection near this tree, which has, you know, grown a lot since he did that, and it had to be repaired. It cracked. He made this pad for a cabin. I'm telling you all this because it's like things here that's in the way of doing an orchard. And this is the level below the house. So we still drive through here to access the containers, putting stuff there and doing things there. And we have hopes of at least putting a roof over the concrete pad there. It's got water and drainage and an outdoor shower. And I want to set up a kiddie pool on that pad and put minerals, salts, but all the trees. So we can't just, I don't have a cleared field or a lot of options without getting rid of trees that's already here. Getting rid of pine trees is not a biggie for me. I have no connections. I'm fine with getting rid of them. We have lots of other trees, a lot of hickories, a lot of oaks, a lot of sweet gums, dogwoods, cedars. I'm trying to remember if there's any others I can think of. So this could be onto the sides, but still allowing our truck or tractor to come through here. And we have stuff like this, little cedars. Nice and pretty. I'd like to transplant. I've offered some to friends if they want to come and dig them up. I'm not going to commit myself to doing that work. They can come and get it, but you know, when you live in a forest and you want to do an orchard, it gets a little bit more complicated. A lot more complicated. And the only neighbors we have are on that side where you can see the sky through the trees. That's where they have some gorgeous horses. And their house is way over. We can't see it from, we have to get onto our easement to see their house. I don't think we can see it from our house. Definitely not from our house, but not from our property. Go to the property line. So the fire pit you can't even see from here. Just sharing the update on the trees and why it's taking long to even figure out where I'm going to plant them. Besides the serviceberries and the hazelnuts and a few of the fruits, I'm really not sure where they're going to go. Oh, that's another one. I'll do a different video on that. So, thanks for watching.